It's only $100.
So move the button over here.
In $100, I won't have to have. Look at this. We got a green stream.
The hell does that mean?
That's a green line.
I know, but it's because the streaming's green.
Does it mean it's energy efficient?
It is energy efficient streaming. We are now live, and we're energy efficient streaming. And do we have audio? I gotta unmute it. Oh look, it even recorded the part.
Now it's yellow.
Now it's yellow. All right, well, close enough.
Code yellow?
Yeah, code yellow, code yellow.
I don't know what that means.
Welcome to Vlog Thursday, episode 8E?
D.
8T. 8T.
8D? Isn't that a camera?
8D is a camera. 80D is a camera.
80D.
So, one of those many things I'm going to post on the socials while we get this started. I'm going to tweet for a change.
I'm going to Google my Facebook and Twitter it.
I'm Twittering my face butt. We are live. Come join us.
Yep,
there,
I'm live.
All right, Steve has a pulse. He has a pulse. And I gotta put the pulse on the Book of Faces because Zuckerberg, man, he is not happy today. Apparently, Facebook has a growth problem.
I heard that.
Yeah.
When you put it that way.
Like cancerous or
no.
Expansion.
They need, well, no, they actually opted. We need to make more people because they need more customers, and they have all the customers now. Yeah. You can't get any more customers, so that's the new Facebook.
Their customer number, they can't get it up anymore.
Yeah.
They've hit they think they've hit their saturation
across
point.
the world were down, so does that mean like Facebook's losing, customers technically?
They say somewhere near like 50% of all U.S. and Canadian residents are actively on Facebook every day.
And what happens when you have all the customers? Now what? You own the market. You've monopolized it. Now what?
It's hard to grow when you've already got your product in everybody's hands.
Yeah. It's like, what's our new market? Elon, get on that Mars thing, build another civilization over there, populate it. We're going to turn them on to Facebook.
Well, here's the thing. They'd be seated from here, so Facebook would just go over there.
That's true. We need more population.
We need new people.
Get busy making people so we can have more Facebook.
No,
okay. That's really bad advice.
Yeah.
That's horrible advice. You probably all the wrong people on here. So, question for anyone watching, and I didn't have a prize set up. Where's one of the little metally bits?
I put them all in there.
No, one of the metally bits is missing down here.
Oh, there's a few of them. They're probably in the box.
They're in the box somewhere. I hold in my hand a rattly thing with metally bits. It has an actual name.
I like it. It makes jingly key sounds.
It makes jingly key sounds. Who can guess what this thing is? If I turned it around, you'd guess what it is, or at least you'd have a better idea.
If I know what it is, do I get a prize?
No. Wait, after work.
Ew.
Awkward. So if you can guess what, other than it's Steve's new favorite fidgety toy.
It is.
You messed up all the...
I messed
now
up.
I've got to fix them all.
Yes.
Well, you take joy in fixing it, so... And sorry to disappoint you, this is kombucha, and you probably finished yours already.
Oh, it's gone.
Yeah, I got everyone drinking hippie drinks here, so we like, well, not him, he doesn't drink kombucha, so we got two of us drinking kombucha.
The stuff's delicious, because they're all the cayenne ones.
What?
Nope, Joseph Giro, you got it right. It is a Cat 6A shielded patch panel, and around Steve's neck is a Cat 6A cable. I'm going to be doing, I actually have a bunch of different cables, and this is just the last of them. We're going to do some punch down videos because we've been installing some Cat 6A for a client. I'm going to try to get on site to do some of the video there, but we're also going to have a little studio demonstration to show you side-by-side comparisons. I realize I kept talking about doing this video and I haven't done it. Side-by-side comparisons of all the different cables, Cat 5e, Cat 6, Cat 6A, which is right here in our hands here, shielded versus unshielded, and the reason that they're a little bit different, I mean, I can tell you technical specs, but I'm actually going to show you with the video some of the different connectors and things like that when we do the installs and talk a little bit more about the cabling side of the business. Corey's actually going to come do the video and do the punch down and kind of walk you through stuff. Because I suck at punching things down.
Things are hard.
Things are hard. Physical stuff. I just finance the projects.
It's toolless.
It's toolless. But yeah, actually, part of it too is giving a review. This is different than the Cat 6A ones we had gotten previously.
Yeah.
We had a different style we were getting, and this we like a lot. So this one.
I didn't see the other style. This seems actually neat, but also difficult.
It's a fancy idea.
Sounds great on paper. I do like, though, that as it closes, it's got, like, little wedges that pushes down.
It's got a neat design, and because this Cat 6A was shielded, And someone commented, yeah, it's good for when you're close to like a 3-phase power. Yes. What they do, and we actually installed a Cat 5e shielded for some of the same reasons. I actually have some of that cable. And we realized we have so many different cables in stock. We're like, you know, what we can do, we don't sell the cable, we stock it because we have it for jobs. Just kind of lay out all the different versions. Like, here they all are, here's what they all look like, and here's some of the use cases you may want to do them. Because you can read technical specs about them, but kind of seeing them helps a lot for understanding that. All right, on to other things. And now we'll start it backwards because we'll start with just don't go unplugging things.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So I didn't finish the video, but the project itself is finished. They had the grand opening at Revved Up Fun. So there's a couple of videos. I recorded a bunch of footage. I just haven't had time to edit any of it and turn it into some type of coherent video because it was just too noisy there for me to do the voiceover there, so I'm going to do it later. But while I was there filming...
The network was working fine.
It was working wonderful.
For days.
Great.
For days. Network, we've not really had any network trouble with that project. The Wi-Fi work, the switches work. It's a good UniFi video.
The only time the network went down is when they killed the power.
Yeah. Other than dealing with bad electricians, there was our first challenge. Well, all the electrical problems are sorted out. Then, the people, what is it, the restaurant point of sale people.
Yeah.
So the restaurant thought, hey, let's put in a backup internet for our restaurant stuff. So
Fair
they
enough.
sent out their lackey, and he was clearly not coherent enough to understand networking, barely understood what VLANs were, and just started unplugging the network to try to figure it out, and decided that when it didn't work, the next solution to making it work was first, loop backing a cable modem that was in bridge mode, and then plugging the cable modem directly into the UniFi, because why would someone bother putting a little NetGate firewall inside the network? It can't really
seen one of those.
It can't really do anything. So, yeah. So it's just insane that he just decided to start rewiring the network. Well, everything goes down. This is 15 minutes before their grand opening, and they go into panic thinking I'm doing something because I told them I was there to film just before they opened because they had everything ready. And I was just doing my little walkthrough with my drone and creating some video. And I'm like, no, I'm not even in the network. And they didn't know he was in there. And so I opened up the network room. I said, what the hell are you doing? And then I find out. Yeah, then I find out...
There's like wires dangling everywhere.
Oh, he just... and he goes, I don't know, man, this network's really complicated. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I installed it.
You had a reminder set.
Oh, yeah, I did.
It was
5.
It was the Amazon
Wait a
things.
minute, it's 5 o'clock?
Yes.
We started late. Anyway.
Alexa's speaking at us. I thought someone was here.
You're not supposed to say Alexa on internet
Aw. Our Amazon device is speaking to us from the other room. From the great beyond that is the other side of the camera.
Breaking that fourth wall.
But not where
right
you
now.
are, other side of camera, physical other side of camera.
Well, actually, theirs might be speaking now, too, because we said it twice.
We said it twice.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of talking going on.
You said it too, didn't you?
Yeah, I
didn't
said
even
you're
realize
not
that.
supposed to say that anymore.
Yeah.
I know, and then that happens. So sorry for all the devices we have just lit up.
I'm not.
Okay. You shouldn't have them.
That's why ours is muted actually all the time.
Or unplugged.
I'm actually a little paranoid that things listening to me.
Even when it's muted, it's still...
Yeah, I've talked about things and then they wound up in the, hey, we think you would like this on Amazon, and I'm like, yeah, that's suspicious.
A little bit.
Yeah. So, back to that. So he unplugged stuff, didn't know what he's doing, plugged it back in, and we were just, it's really aggravating, and it leads into at least 2 more IT takeovers we're working on. And these are common, obviously, in the business. The IT guy fails and blah, blah, blah. What's a shame is all these IT people, some of them have really nice websites, they have a good sales process, and they followed whatever playbook they followed for getting all these sales cool. They clearly have no idea what they're doing. They got the sale, they got the client. They had this client top to bottom, and I took pictures. Unfortunately, privacy reasons, I can't just share what this doctor's office looks like. But wow! Like, I shared it with these guys because we documented what they had, part of the backroom walkthrough, took a few photos. I'm like, who thinks it should look like this? There's servers stacked on
They've never heard
servers.
of patch cables.
Oh yeah, they have just the most hodgepodge wiring. They have patch panels, and then they have 3-foot wires when they should have 3 inches on there. Everything just looks awful. And I don't know, they have servers, and when the servers died, they stacked the next set of servers on top of them. So
That's like the swamp castle in Monty Python.
yes, it is.
They said it was daft to build a swamp castle in the swamp, but I built it anyway.
Yeah. So, yeah, I have no idea. So I go to their website, looks all nice, but they're charging them for full managed services, monitoring. And like the doctor said, we come in the office and things have been down since early this morning. We have to call them and say, you know, our stuff's down, our internet's out. Oh, it is? She goes, don't we
Wrong
pay
answer.
you? Yeah, don't we pay you a monthly fee to monitor all of this stuff? And they also take a long time to come out, really slow to service, blah, blah, blah. And there's a bunch of other problems with them. And the same thing, I'm meeting another client tomorrow morning. Same problem. This stupidity of they are in over their head. That's what they said. We're just in the conclusion that they don't know what they're doing because their answer to us is just unplug it, plug it back in, even to servers. And it's funny because when the client, they emailed me, but they said, I said, what do you want me? They said, but please call to my cell because our phones have been down all day again. Waiting on IT people. I'm ready just to switch.
Why does our server go down? We don't know, but if you restart it, it'll work for a little while.
Yeah. So everything's, and it's just so many of them we've run into, or that other doctor's office, which, gotta admit, he himself was kind of a pain in the butt, and he's a client we got rid of.
Yeah, one of them got rid of us.
Well, we didn't return calls.
There's a mutual.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't the return calls. He was upset because he wanted a solution like the other guys offered where they just took everything and put it in their name because he didn't want to be bothered. But we don't want to do that because then if something happens to us, it's all in our name. And how do you use it then?
We've seen that more than once where, you know, we take over somebody else and they have none of it documented. And then we can't get it from somebody else. You start over. You get a new website. You get new servers pretty much, or at least get the servers reloaded because we can't use it.
He was just kind of a pain on a few things.
Yeah.
He just kept wanting things to just work. But it was so unclear. I'm like, I can't just, do you want me to rip it all out? And he's like, well, I paid $10,000 for all this. I'm like, I know, it's a total disaster. I don't know what to tell you. So we deal with that a lot. It's like, we don't mind taking over everything, but there has to be some middle ground where we work with people and make this like transition. But some of these, it's just amazing how much they spent with these IT companies. Now, and this comes down to the things I see, and sometimes I'm that guy, and that someone just commented, they see me in the IT MSP forums. A lot of IT people, and I've seen this in those forums, and so if you're among the people in there, you know who I'm talking about. I'm not calling anyone out by name, it's by process.
But you know who you are.
Yeah, you know who you are. It's the IT guy discussion of, hey, what's the best XYZ product we should be using? And someone will post it, and they're like, yeah, but their commission sucks. I know it's a great product, but I can't make enough money off it. I think some IT guys get so hung up on only selling everything with some huge commission that they don't care if it's a good fit for their client or not.
I must sell you 2 spam filters because I make a commission on both.
That guy who deleted his posts, I don't remember his name, or I would call him out.
Oh, that was an actual thing?
Yes.
I didn't know this.
Yeah. I was ranting about this, and this comes into one of the forums. So a guy decided to, his answer was, I always sell 2 spam solutions, you know, double filter, blah, 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 this, you know, that way they're extra protective. And I'm like, you only really need 1. And I'm like, and they're like, well, no, you need 2. And then
you really just need
And he goes, well, I make commission on both, was what he had posted, and then deleted. I'm like, oh, man, it's, yeah. And it's overselling these people. That's sometimes what I think people get caught up in doing. And I just did a presentation for an accounting, the group of Southeast Michigan accountants. I do presentations on security, talked about that. It's, you know, some of the sales stuff I do. And so all that went great. Hey, awesome.
I saw colors.
Oh, from Taiwan.
Ooh,
thank you. That's cool. Hello from Taiwan, and thank you from Taiwan.
I would have preferred that they just sent it in Taiwanese, like that too.
Yeah.
Like I would frame it and put it on all.
Oh yeah,
Taiwanese
if it was in the
dollars,
Taiwanese dollars.
I don't know what they call them.
And oh, did we miss? Yeah, okay, so that's awesome. Hello from Taiwan. This is the super chat stuff. So thank you very much. So it's just such an aggravation because some of these people get so caught up in the commission sales and this. It's the same thing like, oh, you sell UniFi, you know, the Meraki sales partner channel is way better. The commission and recurring I get all the licensing fees, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, but there's something about, you know, having to pay your water bill and then that sink usage surcharge.
Yeah.
Or we shut your sink off.
And it's, you know, and it's one of those things that it's, I think, I understand, we're all in this business to make money. And like I said, I was at the accounting group this morning, I did a presentation. In the accounting world, accounting is not near as new as IT. And we talked about this, in the Downriver area, there's only like 1 or 2 IT companies within, what, 10 miles of us, 15 miles of us? Actual IT, not just computer stores.
There used to be more.
Yeah, there's not many in our area.
Wait, XYT.
Like IT companies, like, yeah.
He's not even listening to you.
You're not even listening.
No, I thought you said XYT.
No, not like the other ones. Well, what happens is market price can be set by, if you're the only guy in town, sure, you can set a really high price, where else are they going to go? But with accountants, there's a lot of them. You get Craigslist and find some pizza tech. And if you want good IT services, there's not a lot of companies in the area, so the prices are kind of set by me and the couple other people that are here, or like even his doctor's office, they're using someone who's over an hour away. Actually, about an hour and a half, as the guy kept repeating. I go, really? He goes, yeah, that's the answer I get every time I called him. About an hour and a half will be there. And he goes, it's never an hour and a half. But these are some of those real big aggravations I have. I get it. There's good and bad. I'm going to do like a separate just MSP video. And I think there's this whole concept that I think is utter BS of, oh, everyone needs to go MSP because MSP is the best relationship because then you work for your client as opposed to time materials. I said, no. Once you get the check, this is a direct quote, and this is one of Steve's friends. I think it was your friend that said this.
What?
He worked for an MSP, and they weren't going to service the client in a timely fashion, and the owner's like, well, when's their contract up? 9 months from now? Put them last. Service that contract guy that's up now. And that's the problem. You sell them on a contract, you do crappy service until that last, 60 to 30 days of the contract, and you kiss their butt, do every ticket in a timely manner. You're killing it because you want them to renew. This is what I see with we're seeing this with some of the MSPs, more than one of them, so I put that into plural. And these guys are caught up on commissions or a direct sales partner for everything, blah blah blah. The company we're taking over from the doctors only allows the purchase of computers through their IT company. They refuse to install computers that you purchase yourself. And they're charging me double what Dell wants for the same model.
The doctor's office knows how Google works.
Yeah, they got a proposal from them, called Dell, typed up the exact same computer, and they doubled the price of every computer. She goes, there's no way that I'm paying you $2,200 for a laptop. She goes, we don't need $2,200 laptops. I'm willing to spend $1,000. Dell will sell me the laptops for $1,000. They said I can't go around them, or they refuse to install them. And I said, that's fine. We're finding another IT company. And they're like, well, you got a contract. And she says, we're doing our out. This is not like, this is just what an incident I'm ranting about because it happened yesterday, but this is pretty common in our business. And I don't know who sold you all these ideas. And I'm like, some of these people I get it. There's all these companies that will train you how to be an MSP sales agent. They're revved up people, motivational speakers, hoorah, get it. Here's your playbook. If they hit you with it's too high, you hit them with this. That's how they train you. Cool, if that's the way you want to be. Are you a sales rep or a technician?
Just because you're a good salesman doesn't mean you're a good tech.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I feel those are the companies that got this pumped up sales guy. I'm going to kill it. I've got this Lamborghini. I got my dream wall. I got all these things I'm going to get in life. I'm going to go sell it. I know you want a dream wall. and then you sell it all, and you can't deliver on any of the promises because you have no actual knowledge and operational ability to do any of the things you promise these companies. And then you just end up being one of the IT guys we eventually take over for, and people getting a bad reputation and looking at you like the shady used car guy or the shady mechanic going, yeah, they're likely just to rob me. It's just driving me bonkers right now because of so many of these companies.
Oh, it's just like we got the one client who, when we took him over from an IT guy they didn't like, well, look, we know how to solve a lot of our issues because the old IT guy never responded.
So we figured
they
it out.
did know how to solve their issues, but now they're like, we can call those Lawrence Tech guys and just, rather than fiddle with this for a couple hours, they'll just get on it and it'll get done, and let's just do that.
We do the big stuff and they do a lot of the small stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going to do we have an MSP playbook? I am thinking about making one. Yeah, and the geeks shall hell to earth. That's right, Willie. The geeks shall hell to earth. Willie Howe. So
I assumed when you said Willie.
Yeah. Willie, why don't you move to Detroit? Come join us. You fit right in. You can come drink kombucha with us. And eat spicy foods. Steve's not in it.
It's actually spicy kombucha.
Yeah. So we'll talk a second about the USG stuff. Let me finish ranting about the tech stuff. MSP playbook. So one of my things is I don't like to complain about something unless I plan to do something. So part of my doing something is first I'm sharing with you guys my thoughts on business and things like that. And I may put together some of these playbooks, put some ideas together of how I think IT should be run. And I get it. Some of these other people, they're selling you on the lifestyle and all that. That's how any of those motivational speakers are. I don't know if that's good or bad. That's for you to judge. They have success. Hats off to people who do great at selling you motivational things.
I mean, they make a lot of money, but there's a moral obligation.
Yeah,
and we're all here to make a few dollars. And what is too much? You know,
well, it's like the common joke around here that we joke about. You know, wow, look, somebody just gave away $200 to somebody claiming they're from Microsoft over the phone, and we're in the wrong business.
Some of these IT places are no better.
We're on the wrong side of that fence. But.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that to think about. Maybe I'll make some more playbooks, something more concise. I've done a handful of videos. I'm going to do some more business talk videos, and a lot of times I share, even when I'm ranting on here, some of my philosophy and how I run the company, how we do things. And they kind of were joking. They're like, so, you know, I gave them a proposal for per machine, this and that, and they're like, kind of like, that's it? I'm like, yeah. That you're not going to try and high pressure me? No. What's your contract? Well, you don't have a contract attached. I said, you pay me because you love me. And, and they laughed. And I'm like, no. I said, it's just month to month. If you don't want to pay it anymore, we'll just turn it all off for you. Yeah. She goes, really? I said, yeah.
Yeah, we'll flip a switch and
it goes away. I am a highly low pressure because here's the other problem you run into. If you run around pushing, selling, calling that guy 20 touch points, calling them 30 times, and badgering them in, just beating over their head that they need to use you, doom and gloom, it's the end of the world. If you don't use this or IT, it is going to blow up. Hackers will own you. You will be all over the dark web and blah, blah, blah.
You know, there's rules against that in like the medical industry.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the problem. Do you want those clients? Or do you like the lower stress environment that I've created here of I didn't pressure them in. They use us because they love us. There's a good relationship. They're good clients. And that to me is just a better way to do it. Once you've pressured them in, you've got them to sign a multi-year contract, and then they're kind of going second thoughts on you. And then
you got them in that contract, and then you're just robbing them at that point.
Then they feel dirty.
So I don't know. It's all, and these are just different business philosophies. I don't know that I'm right. I do not have a Lamborghini correction, so if your goal was for that, I'm probably not in the right in your eyes at all. You're like, look, I pull these people for everything I get.
I think it's better to be a good person.
Yeah, and I see people bragging about it going, yeah, I sold them a hardware as a service contract. I had it paid off in 30 days, and I had them on, you know, they got to pay out the next 2 years, man. I can't wait to put the down payment on my next Tesla.
That goes right back
I want a Tesla.
Yeah. To Detroit earlier. I gave all my change to the homeless dude.
Doing it wrong.
Even if he is, like, panhandling and he has money, he might not have a bunch of dollars. I have a bunch of dollars, so he can have some dollars. I'd rather not risk it, and I'd rather be a good person. Like,
can I have a couple dollars?
Sure. Yeah, we'll throw a little money around.
Yeah.
Oh,
thanks. Maybe I'll give this back to you.
Yeah. Well, someone maybe you just watch the transaction go in place here.
I have many dollars. Kyle needed many dollars.
Many dollars. So
this dollar's wet.
To wrap up that topic, I will put together some more videos for you guys. Maybe I'll work on. It is warm in here, actually. I think so too.
We closed the vents.
Oh yeah. All right. Anyways, we closed the vents and now it's warm in here. Yeah. Things you can't feel. We're trying to bring you into the physical experience of being here, not just the audio experience. So crank your temperature
scratch
up.
And sniff cards.
Oh, you don't want to know what it smells like here. I smell like garlic all the time, according to my wife.
It smells like Indian food, just spicy food a lot.
Mm-hmm. There's like a cayenne
hot sauce
smell.
And vinegar.
It smells like hot sauce and vinegar in here.
Cheese sometimes.
Cheese. Oh, it definitely smells like cheese in here.
According to one of the kids who does Zumba next door, it smells like butt in here.
Yeah, out of the mouths of babes. Like a 7-year-old kid walked in. Smells like butt in here. Okay.
I lost it.
Yeah. So we've been in business for 15 years now. So I don't know. I don't know that I know what I'm talking about, but I have been in business for 15 years. Does that mean anything? I don't really know if it does or not. I don't. Whatever. So we're going to move on and mosey on from that topic before I just get ranty again. We will talk about, someone had a question, USG or USG Pro. So Steve, other than a couple messages I got from you over the weekend.
I think the answer is going to be.
I haven't played with a Pro. I don't know exactly what the differences are. I still prefer a PF set, so for the USG, hands down.
So, good and bad. That we do like the USGs for basic installs.
Yeah, they're really great. I went through all the ins and outs of them on how to, exactly how everything has to be to set them up. there's some nuances that aren't super clearly documented, like that when you initially update them, you have to have a computer on the LAN side, on DHCP, on the same network. Well, it doesn't have to be DHCP, but it has to be on the same network. And then once you update them, if you want to point them to a remote site, you got to issue the inform through the web panel once, tell it adopt, and then issue it again while it's trying to adopt. And there's a couple little odds and ends, but other than that, once you get them set up, they're really solid. We're working on testing the VPN on them, but I got it all set up, and then I realized that I'm an idiot because it's behind the pfSense here and the pfSense at my house. So I have to bypass those to test the VPN. But no, they're solid products. The only thing I don't like that I do prefer the pfSense for is mostly the OpenVPN.
Yeah, it's so easy.
In OpenVPN, and we're actually working on. We have some of the we have a few of the USGs, and we're installing them because they need public IPs
and
properly. And edge routers. Yeah. We have a series of VPN videos. That's why Steve's been working on making sure we document all the nuances and going just through and testing out a lot of things on them. So we're going to do some VPN videos, and we're going to tie our houses together with extra IPs we have here at the office and do a bunch of testing and kind of walk you through the steps. So those videos are coming, and thank you to UniFi for getting us a few more products for testing. So that's how part of what's coming about. Our clients that are using them, like our small offices that just have a USG, they actually work wonderful because we can see the whole network. I've talked about deploying. We love that.
I love them when you have them in conjunction with actual UniFi APs, seeing the entire network, seeing the dashboard. It's really slick.
And then we got a couple of the edge routers deployed at clients, and I love those. They're simple. If you're not trying to do like all the advanced VPN stuff, but you want something and you need something with a few switch ports, possibly to separate a couple networks, those edge routers are great.
Yeah, and this is one of those things like for the USG for that small business that only has single IP address, which is all they need. Works great. As soon as you go, oh, I want a block of IPs assigned to the USG, I'm like, all right, we're going to have to open up some files. It doesn't have it in the interface, so that becomes a more advanced network. Oh, you want a bunch of users in remote access via VPN from the other side of a net. That's where you're going to run into L2P limitations on that type. L2PP. What?
L2TP.
L2TP.
Not
Layer 2 tunnel protocol.
Layer 2 tunnel protocol. When you're doing a layer 2 tunneling protocol, we're just going to say it that. I cannot get the acronym right. When you're doing layer 2 tunneling protocol.
I don't think I've ever heard you use the acronym correctly, actually. But
you're
that was
probably
the best.
right.
Why do I know it?
Because you played with it.
I'm illiterate.
You got the blue thing. Seafoam?
Seafoam. What is that?
I don't know.
Oh, that's another person who gave us $5. Thank you very much.
How does it dictate the color?
YouTube AI magic dictates colors.
Based on the emotion of the text?
It's based on the emotion.
It's like a mood ring.
Yeah, so there's reasons to do it, and we're going to talk about some of that. And I'm going to make a series. I have more VPN videos coming. Matter of fact, we're going to be on the Sunday Morning Linux Review, and we'll follow it up. Maybe me and Tony will with a YouTube video if I can nail him down for this. Tony's been traveling abroad, so we're going to talk about getting by the Great Firewall of China and stuff like that.
Has he been in China?
Yeah, he was in China for 2 weeks. Yes.
Are you supposed to get past the Great Firewall?
No, that's why we waited until Tony was back from China before we talk about how we had to deal with VPNs in China. So those videos are coming. So yes. No, we don't do physical all the way when it comes to pfSense. There are limitations, and I think I've talked about them before. For example, the way the network card interface works when you're doing a pfSense virtualized, it doesn't have full control over some features, like to do the HFSC traffic queue shaping. It doesn't have proper, it doesn't work right.
Yeah, because you actually had one set up for a little while, and you just weren't super happy with it.
Nope, I ran into some issues with that.
And you can run it on almost anything. I mean,
in hardware, it's better than having it in a virtual machine because then you have to take NICs in your virtual machine and stuff like that. I mean,
what if my virtual machine goes down, but my image is on my backup image is online, but my pfSense was virtualized?
Right. Well, and this comes down to like when I was testing at home and I ran pfSense virtually for a while, I did run into a couple weird issues that I never seen on my computer, but my daughter noticed when she's playing on, what game did she play? Overwatch. She's having trouble with Overwatch on it. We switched to a hardware pfSense, it worked fine, switched back to the virtual one. My speed tests are fine. I could find no packet loss at all. Like there's no latency issues, no jitter, any test I could do come back. But we consistently could, now here's where it goes even a step further. She could not do competitive gaming on Overwatch, but the non-competitive gaming seemed to never have the glitch. So we don't understand. We couldn't simulate it. There's not an error message I could go by. I was just swapping firewalls back and forth, and she would play her game. And it wouldn't happen consistently. She'd have to play for like an hour for it to happen, or sometimes it happened 10 minutes in the game, might happen an hour in the game. But the only thing we switched was we went back to, actually right now there's a edge router, and the problem completely went away. But I still have my virtual setup at home, so I can flip a switch and pump it through the virtual. The problem comes back again. It's really strange. So I like a hardware device running the firewalls, whether you're running a pfSense, whether you're running a USG, it just makes it a little bit nicer. Move from one client to many. People say the first is the hardest. No, I wouldn't say it's any harder going from one client to the next. Actually, it gets kind of nice. And this is part of it too. What happens to our clients, Steve? They're worried because they're used to all the tickets, but we take them over and then what?
There's no tickets.
There's no tickets.
You talk to a human.
You talk to a human.
Oh, that was great. Yeah, one of our clients, this nice older lady, and she has my direct line, so she just calls me if she has an issue. And she's like, I can't get online. I go, well, yeah, it's showing you're not connected at all. Can you, you might want to call AT&T first. But call me back and let me know if they're not willing to help you. And so she called AT&T. They pushed a signal to the router. It started working, and she called me back. But she was so frustrated because you can't talk to a person there. She had to go through 5 minutes of machines.
A friend of mine over the weekend that I was talking to said that he's not happy with the inside IT guys at his work. He goes, I have like 6 tickets open with them. I've had tickets open with them for 2 or 3 weeks now, and they don't do anything.
I think it varies too because it depends on the size of the company and how they handle the tickets. Because I did a walkthrough of another Detroit company a while back when I was still going to school. He took us all to his company and we did a walkthrough. And the way they handled tickets was actually relatively slick because they were a smaller office with a good-sized IT staff.
Right.
So nothing was like shy of a woman who spilled wine on her MacBook Pro twice.
Oh, well, I mean, that happens.
Yeah. Who they then intentionally
channel.
Delayed the ticket because they're like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was everything would go in the ticket system, but then they would occasionally print some of them out, like if they were going on vacation and pin them up, and like they had good communication and like, I'm leaving for 2 days, so there's 3 other guys. You take this set, you take this set, you take this set, and away I go.
But what happens is when we take over IT for a lot of these companies, they're used to having a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Once we fix everything and they don't have problems anymore, that's the bigger thing I was getting at. They don't really have it. Once you put it all in right. And when I looked at the network that we looked at for his doctor's office, I'm like, this is a disaster. Like, there's no wonder everything's wrong. And like they said, yeah, every time they come out here, even though they're the ones that installed the network, they're like, I don't, then the guy gets on the phone calling, hey, Bob, who did this over here? We don't know why it's like this.
And they're charging them hourly probably to figure out why
what they did previously.
The things they did.
Yeah, and then it's just an entire crap show of there's a big bunch of guessing. They clearly don't document any of their work. There was no labels on anything back there. I don't know why they had so many switches for a small company because they had populated some of one switch, some of another switch, and some of another. There's 3 switches.
Because I've seen this one before.
No VLANs, but they do have ProSafe ones.
Well, no,
so they support VLANs.
They patched them all in. And then if they rewired anything and cut the wire in the ceiling, but they don't know what the wire goes to, they just leave it plugged in because it might go to something, even though half the ports on the switch are off.
I was going to say, but you can see lights. They have lights.
Yeah.
Do they all have lights?
Yeah. There's no, you can't try to rationalize the stupidity that goes on.
Mall?
No.
Okay.
Do you think they go to the neighbors?
We've seen that twice.
Yeah, we've got a couple where who is your internet provider? The liquor store next door.
Yeah.
Where does that bundle of blue wires go? Let me get up there and look. oh, those all go to the other suite next door. We could probably get rid of all those. They redivided the suites and we left all the wiring.
Yeah. Or that one time they didn't know why that cable was plugged in and just knocked out the internet for the suite next door because they just unplugged it.
Yeah. We don't know what this goes to. Well, then that's fine because they were doing all the testing and trying to clean up their network on one side.
They were
being diligent about
forward thinking enough to go, it is lighting up. There's something going through it. What happens if we unplug it? Except nothing went down in their office. Something went down next door.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see a lot of strange stuff, and I'm fine with strange.
I love it. It makes it interesting.
It's fun.
It makes it interesting doing those places. But
three loops in a switch. How that thing still worked?
Yeah, we're not sure. It didn't just burst into flames. Yeah. It was shocking.
And they kept upping their speed from Comcast. That was the best part. Things would take a second, and they had at one point, like, I think they finally upped it to like 250 megs down, and they were never getting it. They were only getting like 60, and that was why.
Someone said the doctor's office is probably just done by some guy. No.
It's a company.
They have 7 employees. They, at least according to their website, they've seen several different people that work there, so they at least have more than one person that comes there. And they have a really nice website. Everything about it looks highly professional. Their blogs, everything is well done. It doesn't look...
We have run into, like, my nephew does this, though, too, so...
Yeah.
But not that doctor's office.
Yeah, this doctor's office, and they are the ones who built the office out, like, from top to bottom. They built it. They installed the racks. They installed the posts. They did the cabling. Yeah, I know it's that much more depressing.
They were a professional-ish IT company.
Sarcastic air quotes.
Yeah, sarcastic air quotes.
But it did get me thinking. How many people can we claim we have? Like, can we just be Steve? Steve with hat? Is that 2 people?
Steve with hat. There we go.
Like
Steve on a good day.
Actually,
Steve on a bad day.
Most of the people just think I'm you most of the time. We just roll with that one, and
we get a third person? The first time I met you, I went into the other office because I was actually working somewhere else, and we were one of your clients.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The first time I met you, because you came out, I had met Tom before, and I go, Tom looks a little different.
So, in case you're wondering, hire someone that looks like you.
Yeah.
It makes it easier because one challenge, I'll give you this problem right now. A lot of people say, how do you go from being a one-man show to hiring people?
Cloning.
Clone yourself,
yeah,
if you can. Hire someone that looks like you, helps a lot. And
because they'll always want to ask for you, then you just send the other person in your place.
You send the other person in place. So they think he's Tom a lot.
I get it a lot.
And we just roll with it. Hey, Tom, how's it going? Steve's
pretty
like,
good.
Great.
Yeah. I don't even correct him anymore. It was great.
It's simply not worth the argument.
I was down the street, and they came. The owner of the business, is Steve still here? And he goes, and one of the employees goes, I think so. And I go, yeah. And the owner goes, who was that? And the employee goes, well, that's Tom. He's in the corner. The owner walks over, looks over the cubicle. That's Steve.
Yeah.
And the employee felt so bad. I'm like, well, he's like, why didn't you say anything? At some point, you just kind of roll with it.
The amount of times I've heard somebody call you Tom and you just go, yeah, what's up?
Yeah.
It's just easier that way. Yeah, sometimes people ask for the same tech. We're generally pretty good about documenting everything. I say we're probably better than the majority of the IT companies I've run into.
Well, we don't document. I just yell really loud down the hall. That way you guys know what's going on in the event I run to 7-Eleven.
I do have I push hard, and this is always something you should be doing in your business as an owner, is documenting, and never just think it should be in your head.
Secure documenting.
Secure.
Not Post-it notes.
Not Post-it notes, yes. I've talked about the wiki thing.
Or notebooks of just...
Scribbles?
Yeah.
Like passwords just written everywhere?
So me and Phil, someone had a good question. Have I ever, nothing to do with the cable on my head, have you ever fixed someone else's...
I kind of like it.
It's my Cat 6A Halo.
The Halo floats above your head.
Halo, well, not mine. Someone asked if I ever been tipsy when I fix something. No, not a client stuff. There has been drunken network building.
Yeah.
And me and Phil talked about this. We're gonna do a show sometime. We're gonna call it Drunken Linux. And me and Phil are gonna come here, and we've done this at night, and we just start hacking on some Linux stuff and putting some stuff together while we're drinking. So I specifically will not work on client stuff if I've been drinking. That is a bad idea. I don't want to accidentally screw things up.
You may have had to call Steve once or twice, though.
I have definitely called Steve. I'm like, I am not in a condition to fix whatever's wrong with this. I won't lie. The plan has been put in place. I am highly self-aware. And I was also aware I should not work on whatever it is. Emergency thing happens at night. I'm like, Steve.
I'm trying to sit in bed, watch some TV, and eat my popcorn. And now I'm putting out fires.
Oh, yes. So I definitely skip out on if I've been drinking, I just skip on working on stuff. And Steve's not much of a drinker. I don't drink very often. It's just once in a while. And if I'm out and about, I've been drinking with friends, matter of fact. That's why I'm wearing my Detroit Axe shirt. We was throwing axes and having beers, and it was a good time. But yeah, that's a whole, yeah. Why don't you use A wiring for network punchdowns? Because A is stupid. Is that right? Okay.
A don't pay.
A don't pay. That's our slogan. Everything's punched down B.
Yes.
A don't pay. A is stupid. I have no idea why. I just hired a bunch of people that
somebody here just decided one day that it was stupid.
I made the decision. It was me.
The decision was made.
I liked B because I liked orange first.
Yes, because orange is first.
And Corey used to do A, and I made him start doing B, and he argued with me until he got a patch panel, and I knew this was a thing. There are patch panels out in the wild that are only labeled for B. And we don't know why, and he got one and had to redo it all. So then he has since decided no more A.
Yeah. So no more A. That's how that came about.
Yeah.
We don't have anything. I'm not a GDPR expert. I don't have any active. So here's the thing. Clients, how do you define that? Do we have a guy that called me and I fixed his FreeNAS from Europe? Yes. Do I have an active ongoing engagement with the customer with a recurring revenue in Europe? No. We don't have any active incurring revenue from any European clients. Therefore, that I know of, there's no GDPR. I do know we're using Invoice Ninja, and Invoice Ninja, to be GDPR compliant, does have a client purge option. My fuzzy part is I break the law if I purge them. So how does that work?
How do you? Yeah, because you break the law in one country, but to be compliant in another, do you have to create a second system of UK clients?
Well, no.
Can you host it here?
That becomes a whole nother question. You know, how we host the data. I don't know. So if we did that work for that person, they asked me to delete their data out of our system. Whatever, I do have a pay transaction of it. I would just lose the person's transaction that gave you the money, and I don't really think that's a big, as long as I'm reporting the income.
Yeah.
But it kind of creates a weird issue because it makes the income go away if we purge a client. So I don't know. We haven't come across it, and there's a lot of questions about GDPR that are unanswered that are super not clear.
I think it's going to create a bunch of catch-22s like
it is already.
The Kim.com case.
It's going to need amendments.
Where he pointed out during the mega upload case, well, they were trying to get him saying, you should be monitoring the content that's uploaded. He goes, but you have laws explicitly saying, I can't do that.
Right. So here's just someone says, how do we break the law? So if you're in Europe, you have the right to ask for your data to be purged out of a system. So we would have that person's data in our system, whatever contact information they provided us. Well, the tricky part comes where in the U.S. I have to document my sales and who I did business with. I'm supposed to keep those records for 7 years. So if before that 7 years, it is someone asked me to purge it, now we have a weird conflict of their law says to purge it. The U.S. under IRS code says I have to keep documents for 7 years of my transactions with clients. So I don't know. This is actually why a lot of these magazines have chose the easy solution. They have decided to block Europe. This is because someone is going to get sued. There will be a hearing. There will be case precedents set. Do you want to be that guy is the question. No. Some people have just stopped doing business in Europe altogether because of that until someone gets sued and sorts this damn thing out.
You don't want to be the case that sets precedents.
Obfuscate, not delete. Well, the thing is, none of our data is public, so does that fall under there? And I know it read that way, but it depends which country because of the interpretations. It was less than clear, and I've asked people, and maybe someone can give me a better clarification and cite a legal document that actually clarifies that for me. I would really like that. I recently saw you can select a PF-Sense and heard Tom mention in a video that the file system is much more robust. Should I reinstall my existing PF-Sense and switch the file system? It's a new feature. I have done it.
It's easy enough to back it up and do.
It's real. PF-Sense is stupid easy.
Yeah.
You only need to back up that one XML file. So you back up the XML file, you blow it away, you reload it, you put the XML file back in after a reload on ZFS, and magic. Because of that, why not? I've seen, and there's a couple notes in the forum of people saying that they had the UFS file system that got corrupted and it wouldn't boot. I have not thoroughly tested enough with the ZFS one, but I'm doing that testing by rebooting it randomly. I've not been able to crash the UFS system, and I haven't been able to crash it, but I do know that problem occurs because there's more than one forum post about it. And the simple solution is FSCK the drive, and it works. So we actually had that one. We had one client. Happen at one of our trucking companies. So we've seen it happen for all the firewalls and all the jobs we do.
And they had
one
rolling power outages.
Mm-hmm.
Because they they had an aged out battery backup that was not put in by us. So
so
because they have other IT people for
other aspects of their company.
Multinational reasons.
Right. So that's a whole lots of confusion on GDPR.
We could actually probably ask them about GDPR.
Well, someone's explaining all that, so I was actually trying to catch up and read it on here. There's a lot of it in here. I don't know. I'm erring on the side of I'll wait and see. I'm not an expert on it. It's a lot of legal stuff, and I'm trying to. I want to be compliant, but I don't think any of the people really care because we're not trying to sell their data. They paid us to fix whatever we fix for them remotely, whether they're in Europe. Was one guy's in Romania? Is that where he was? That one dude with the bank thing.
Yeah.
What country was he in? He was
wasn't there one from?
He was on my block list. I had to unblock it because we block a lot of things.
I thought we had one guy too who was doing UniFi equipment. He was from where's Melania Trump from? He was from
same place as there. I know.
Yeah,
that's helpful.
Starts with an L, maybe.
Do I have a trouble with FreeNAS virtual machines not working with Beehive? There's a reason I have not done a video on FreeNAS virtual machines. I don't like them. Lithuania? I don't know.
No.
Okay.
I'm over it.
Yeah.
So I'm not a big fan. I mean, they're working on it. I would not use any of the FreeNAS stuff for production. Tony has muddled his way through it and fixed a few things in it and got it working. There's all kinds of tutorials on it, but it's not like you just load it and go. It also doesn't have any clear import-export. You're doing all raw file dumps and everything else. Ukraine, someone asked? I don't know.
No.
Slovenia.
Yes.
That sounds
Slovenia.
right.
That sounds right. Someone guessed
I wanted to say that, but I'm like, that sounds like the light bulb.
Yeah.
That's Sylvania.
Sylvania's light bulb. Sylvania's a country.
Yeah.
So that's the Beehive system, the virtualization in FreeNAS. Now the jails, I'm going to do some more in-depth videos on jails with the IO cage. I had hinted at if you watch my FreeNAS mini review I did the other day. That's definitely coming. That's definitely some fun stuff. I like it. I've been learning just more how to do the jails and how the system works more in depth, so I can then share it more in depth with you. We just don't have a ton of use case for them. When you look at FreeNAS as a production server that you put in for clients or consulting we do with FreeNAS and back end, they're not using any jails. Matter of fact, like we've sold a few TrueNAS systems to clients. Those are completely just storage servers. That they're not loading Plex on or anything like that. There is a use for that and running it in your home. And what I'm going to do as a workaround, I may actually show how to set the plugins manually, because it's not that hard to do a manual built plugin where you set all the services you want inside the jails, so you can update them. Because that's something, look, the package maintainers that update the packages. I see someone ranting, well, they have the older version of Plex, and I got to wait for them to do it. I'm like, yeah, you do. You can load it yourself if you don't mind to wait it, or you can become the package maintainer and help a guy out, man. Buy the guy a beer, incentivize him to, or guy or gal, whoever it is that writes that particular plugin. Each plugin supported by a volunteer. The other way around that is just build your own jail manually. It's easy enough to create one. Just one click, you create a jail, and then you go inside that jail and you load all the plugins that you want to run, or create a different jail for each plugin that you want to run, and just load them manually with the package manager and maintain them yourself that way. And then you don't have to wait for an update to come through for you to have the latest version of Plex running. So I'm going to do some videos on that because the jail system is good. The plugin system, because you're relying on third-party developers to do it, it may not be as up to date. And right now with the beta one I did cover, there's a big problem with it. And I'm also going to do, because I've done some explaining just with these guys talking about some of the pros and cons, and then I did some in-depth reading and discussions on the difference between a jail and a hypervisor like Beehive, and just in general why you would want to use Docker, LVM or any of the Linux container systems versus the FreeBSD ones and what the differences between them are. I noticed there's a lot of great information, so I thought maybe I'd put together a really good video on that as well to make sure people have a clearer understanding it. HP of FreeNAS getting issues, AdaptTech. I can look up the one we have. I don't remember the name of it at all, but I can get it for you and I'll post it. It's not actually, look up my FreeNAS build video. I list the part numbers in it for which HBA and everything we used. All the parts are listed. If you go through my FreeNAS, you'll see a big JBOD that's ours, and because that one's a custom hack together build we did, which we're gonna hack together some memory in it today. Yeah. That one is a the RAID interface thing? Yeah, the RAID interface thing. That's we have all the documents on it. You'll see it. We accidentally got shipped to us. That's a whole other story. Yeah, printers. Who uses printers anymore? Hey, Jesus in the middle. I see your halo. Yep. Several cloud key. Depends on what you want mixed on there. Forgotten doesn't apply tax, anti-money laundering for audit-related documents. You may have people get them, but not delete them. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to dig into all that. I'm done with that discussion because it sounds like legal stuff. I have an account. I outsource all that for her. And views on PFSense being transparent bridge when used in firewall IDS and environment where there's already routing set up. Yeah, obviously if you set up transparent bridge, you're just doing a listening interface at that point. So when you transparently bridge stuff, it's a whole nother animal. I don't know a ton about it. I have not really done much experimenting with transparent bridges. So don't have a lot of other comments on it. It's on my to-do list. I wanted to test that, but then I got busy doing whatever else is I do. What else? You know, the phone hasn't rang here for a while.
I know.
I think everyone's power's out. We had one hell of a storm come through.
It was awesome.
It was
pretty awesome.
We
saw all the access points, the UniFi access points dropping off, so we could tell where the storm was knocking out power.
Yeah.
It was raining sideways.
You know what?
We had hail.
This might be something kind of cool. Because we host so many controllers, we have the control. We're the controller for a lot of clients in the area. We know all their addresses. What if, and maybe there's a UniFi engineer listening, because this would be kind of cool. What if you could look at the locations, plot them on a...
They make UniFi solar panels that I have a feeling might do this.
Well, that might do that too. What we want is, can we plot all of our clients using the map API inside of UniFi? So there's a map API for doing the mapping of a particular client. But what if I could do a super map where I can take all my deployments, throw an address in for all of them, plot them out using a Google API, and then show me which ones are down. You could watch the storm roll through.
That's kind of cool.
That's a cool idea.
We'd have to strategically get clients and...
Well, yeah, you guys are all storm locators now. We're laughing.
We're doing the same thing the Weather Channel does.
Yeah.
Yeah, my email going off because we get alerts whenever clients disconnect or change issues. We're just like power outage because we just seen all the notices of all the systems getting disconnected, and so yeah, it was kind of novel the way that worked. So
and they were coming back up in the order of the direction where the storm came from.
Yep. Yeah, so it was really neat. And the power is actually, we're happy the power's on here. But yeah, right about a block away, the next 3 blocks are blocked off. Actually, why it took me so long to get back, because all the power lines are down over there. You can't go to 7-Eleven.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. Yeah, you already went. So I think that's all we have today for Vlog Thursday and all that fun stuff. So
you can ask me anything.
You can ask me anything. UNMS, I want to try it. It's on my to-do list.
Kyle wants to try it too.
Kyle wants to try it. Yeah. He's got an air cube at home.
And I just got an edge router too.
And he's got an edge router.
He's got the AC air cube.
AC air cube. He's got the cool one. We might buy some more air cubes.
I'm actually really happy with it. Watching the firmware updates have added more features, so it's at least now usable.
The card I have on there though, if you go, there's actually a couple things you can do. One, look for it on eBay, not Amazon. Although I'd love you to buy it from my Amazon store.
Yeah.
Number 2, there is a, in the FreeNAS forums, go spend a few minutes in there. I love the title. It's called Will It FreeNAS? And it's entire discussions about HBAs and hardware and budget parts you can get.
Yeah, because you can get some probably with less hard drive connectors for a lot less. Because I think that one has a lot. 6, 12, 20, I think 24. Because I know it has 4 connectors, and I think there's 6 per connector.
Right.
Because it fits almost that entire front of that thing, and it holds a ton of drives. That thing holds, what, like 30 drives overall?
I thought it was 24 that it held.
Yeah, I think the card
it's a
fits
24 bay.
Yeah, it's a 24 bay.
That's what I thought.
Yep, 24 bay, and it has 22 connectors on it. Or wait,
that
no.
doesn't math.
You're right, it doesn't. No, how many are on board? 4?
Did we use the onboard ones?
Yeah, they're kind of connected.
It's been a little while since we've done the build.
It's been a minute.
Watch our video. We know how many. There's how many we connected. In
that makes more sense than if there's 4 per. 4 times 4 is 16, 20. So that left 1 row out. Yeah, that maybe.
Yeah. So there are options like there, and on my to-do list, but I've been busy. Over there is a pile of stuff.
Oh, hi.
Yeah.
Right off camera.
Right off camera. Steve will drag that in camera. Yeah.
This thing.
And I'm going to be doing some testing to show you that you can acquire 10 gigabits for cheap. I want to get some HBAs that are used, cheap ones off eBay, and do some FreeNAS testing on them because I want to do some build guides for people of different scenarios to get started with it. Maybe they're not the ones you want to run in production, but there are some nice ones on there.
Do you have enough fiber in your diet?
Is there enough fiber in your diet? That is how that video is going to be starting. 500 mega. Just get 500 meg is just a gigabit card, so I don't understand the question you have here.
Did he use big B or little b?
He used the little b MBS. Just get a gigabit connector.
Yeah.
So get a SG3100. The SG3100 is a hell of a deal. We install a lot of those for clients. That thing has been awesome.
No. Small form factor PF Sense router. So he needs something that does a 500 meg internet speed. So something powerful enough that's tiny.
I don't know. The SG3100 is pretty small.
And it does gigabit.
It does gigabit speed.
SG3100. Problem solved.
SG3100.
He used letters.
Yeah, built NAS Scrapyard Wars. That is actually something I was thinking because what is Scrapyard Wars something Linus does?
I don't know.
I've heard people mention it a few times. Sorry, I do not watch a lot of TV, YouTube, or anything.
Scrapyard Doors, at least what I know of, was an old TLC TV show
and I used to
where
watch
there was
that.
a scrapyard and 2 teams fought to build machines with junk.
And then they make
I think that's what he's talking about.
Robots out of scrap.
Yeah.
Got
or
it.
hovercrafts, and they would race the hovercrafts, but they were made out of old vacuum cleaners.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll build some of that. With some of the old hardware, we'll play with some of the HBA stuff and everything else. We'll get some SCSI drives. We'll go ultra budget on this.
I know. Know that we haven't. Oh wait, we might actually have enough.
Okay, Linus does do something like that. I thought he did something along those lines. Yeah, PC Engines makes a few things out there. The problem is I've added it up. The SG3100 is a really good value for the power, the form factor, and everything about it. For $349, you get an official product from the company, and someone's like, "Oh, I can build it for $229," but it's kind of half-assed together. Or they can build
more power sometimes, or is bigger.
Yeah, I'm like just $349. I know it's not the cheapest, but you're talking about your firewall here. This is somewhere where you got to think about the budget a little. Going, all right.
If not, an edge router would do it.
You can fit so many state tables in this thing.
You fit so many state tables in this thing. Oh, okay. Linus gets another YouTuber together and give them a budget and try to build the best gaming PC. Okay.
That's easy enough.
Yeah.
How is that hard?
It's hard for us because he has sponsors.
Yeah.
So
if he's giving me money to build a thing.
Yeah.
Like I want it to be like isn't there that show too where you have to trade things and they follow the guy who
I never watched it.
Starts with a paperclip and trades his way up to like a car.
So, yeah, there's all that stuff. Someone says that they're planning to blow up more printers. Yes, always. Here's the problem. It is only legal on federal holidays?
The day
he looked
before,
up the law.
of, and after federal holidays.
Yes.
So, Memorial Day in September?
Yeah, I don't think I'm big enough for Linus to care about. If he didn't reply to me on Reddit, so I'm not big enough for him to care about. I don't remember. I asked him something and he didn't reply. I'm not offended or anything. He's a busy guy. He replied to a lot of people. Thank you. It's hard, I'm sure, when you have like 6 million subscribers to try to reply to everybody.
I can't answer 5 questions in a day, let alone a million.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just beginning. The full vid, the full vid gets published, so you can always watch the full vid. It all goes back up online.
Of this?
Yeah. So,
Neat.
Yes, for the downloading a 10 gig video, need a 4
going on MySpace video, so you're going to have to watch it.
It's going to go on MySpace. We're going to upload it there. Include fax machines. Look, when's the next federal holiday? That's what we need to know.
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day.
September.
All right.
First Monday of September, I believe.
September. That's the next time something's going to get blown up.
And then the next one after that is November. Thanksgiving. Then Christmas, New Year's. I got this down. I think there's a few presidents' birthdays or something now that count.
Do we have enough devices?
We'll blow something
up. Send us
up.
Things to blow up.
You don't need to. I can see stuff over here.
Yeah,
we'll find something to wreck. Don't worry. There's explosives. It sounds like a good time. So
it's always a good time when you have explosives.
I've got to meet Wendell in person. He's a super nice guy. Level 1 techs, Wendell. I don't know really what to collab with him about. Maybe something. He's a really smart guy.
He does some really interesting stuff.
I like his videos. Yeah. Wendell's one of the YouTubers that I like. I like Wendell, Chris, and. Chris I talked to personally, and so does Willie. Both of them are really good. If you don't know who they are, Crosstalk Solutions and Willie Howe. Wendell, I've talked to him at PenguinCon and kind of BS with him a little bit. I guess I was in one of his videos, which I thought was funny. Just incidentally standing around talking to Eric Raymond. If you don't know who he is, look it up. So yeah, I mean, I'm working on getting the channel bigger. I like doing collab. I just don't know who to collab with or what to collab about. Maybe I'll come up with something. Wendell's not that far for me to drive there too. So maybe if we do something, I'll actually drive to his place. He's in northern Kentucky.
Neat.
So yeah.
Send me to Norway. Collab with the hydraulic press guys.
Slightly further.
Yes.
However, that'd be a great. Yeah, forget blowing up a printer. We're gonna crush a printer.
Oh, he does a lot of explosives too.
Yes, yeah. He wrecks all kinds of stuff.
I loved the brake one where he put the car up on jacks, locked the brakes, and just spun it until the brakes exploded. Yeah,
our Windows 4K KVMs are they? Tag me in a tweet to them. Are they IP KVMs?
And how much are they?
You were just talking.
I was just talking about that. I knew Wendell made some. I've never really taken a closer look at them. Send me a link or something. That'd be kind of interesting.
You actually mentioned his specifically. We have an old VGA KVM that's hardly doing 1080.
Yeah, so we thought about
it. We'd like to update it.
At the same time, we can just screen connect a computer. We really just need the image long enough to screen connect it, and then we just go back to our desk and hide.
If it can go online.
Yeah. Traffic shaping, blocking P2P is hard. The problem is a lot of these things get around stuff easily.
They're designed for that.
The P2P is constantly evolving to literally go around and block stuff, so it's no easy one-click switch for that. Yeah, so that's an issue.
Block it's not in your state.
Yeah, block anyone in the state. 4K KVM is not IP style. Okay.
Neat.
It's not IP. If it was IP, we'd be interested. If we switch KVMs to another system, it'll be an IP-based KVM. I think someone needs to make one of those that are better than a lot of the ones I've seen, but...
Yeah, that one was rough.
That one was rough. We had a lot of problems with it. We tried one.
Dell one.
Old Dell one with a stupid Java system.
Yeah.
Like it was really old by the time we got it.
Well, they didn't make a new one.
No.
Yeah. Now, this is the comment I'm going to cover for firewalls. Untangled commercial version works very well. Here's the thing. When you have some of the commercial firewalls, which you're paying for, and the reason you just can't make them free is you're paying for that module that does automated blocking. You're paying for like a constant feed update of data to manipulate rules to do things like block P2P and its ever-evolving nature. So because of that, because I've had people go, oh man, on pfSense, if I just turn on blocking, it causes all kinds of headaches. I'm like, yeah, the fine-tuning of the rules is where the money's at, not the actual software of the rules.
It's like the internet is fluid or something.
It's
Things
like the
always change.
Yeah. So when you buy a commercial version of Untangled, that's what you're paying for, and that's why it works well, is because you're paying for a company to update those rules and everything.
For you.
And make all that work. So there's easier to block and things like that. Because I get people saying, well, I had it blocked, and then they found a way around it, and da-da-da. Yeah, this is why.
That's the story of life.
Story of life. So it's not that you can't do it at all, is if someone finds a different P2P application and you blocked it one way and they find a way around it, you have to then update the firewall. It doesn't just update magically to block. So whatever you did to block, these outbound ports or whatever, this system can sometimes find a way to work around it. So.
And then there's always the potential of you blocking, useful P2P things.
Oh yeah, you'll run
Steam, BattleNet.
Steam, BattleNet.
I think it depends on the use case.
And like someone said, Untangled can maintain those rules cheaper than you can. Yes, that's actually outsourcing. Some of that is valid. So if that's a solution that people need, then yes. Our solution for our business clients is blocking everything at the PC level with our SolarWinds products. That's our solution that solves a lot of those problems. It's just easier on a per PC level to do all that.
And don't hire shady employees.
Oh, don't hire shady employees. Yeah.
Yeah.
That, well.
We've been really lucky there. Like, we've only had a couple instances where companies just got a guy who was,
bad.
And they had me look at, what is it he does? He's working another job while you're paying him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
That's all I needed to know.
That's all I need to know. All right, we're going to jump off here because it's hot in here, and we want to go take our FreeNAS thing apart. And it seems like there's somewhere else I'm supposed to go today, but I can't remember. But I know it involves beer.
You have a calendar.
I have a calendar. The MI security meeting thing, I might go out there. I haven't decided. I don't know. I got to see if anyone I know is going. If no one I know is going, then I'm not going.
Where's
so,
it at?
Royal Oak.
What's it about?
It's not. It's just a social. There's no topic today.
Oh.
I know. That's why I'm debating about going. If I know people.
Well, you know me. I'll go.
Yeah.
But the reality is we could just hang out here.
We could also just hang out here.
There's a liquor store right down the street.
There's a liquor store down the street. We could just do it. Maybe we'll do beer and FreeNAS. We'll do another live show. I'm going to take my FreeNAS apart and add more RAM. Because I do have good performance on my FreeNAS, but it is woefully under-rammed. So it's only got 16 gigs.
You didn't put enough in. You got to download more RAM.
What does it got? 40 terabytes and 16 gigs?
Yeah, we're going to download more RAM.
We're going to go download more RAM for it. So thanks. We're going to go download more RAM for FreeNAS, have fun, and take things apart. You got to click the stoppy button over there, Steve. Bye.